These algorithms are not just designed to keep you entertained. These algorithms are literally made for the purpose of keeping people on the app. And you know what happens? I'm gonna let y'all in on a little secret. When you're going through something, you should stay off social media. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Mindful Vibes 365 podcast, where we have productive and stimulating conversations about how to be more mindful in every area of your life, okay? My name is Malaysia, your lovely host. And before we get started, of course, I want to ask y'all, what's on your mind today? What's your vibe? What you thinking? Let me know in the comments below. I'm feeling very powerful today. I'm excited for the week. Today is a productive filming day for me, so I'm just in that mode for today, okay? But I was doing some thinking and I was wondering, how many of y'all have been feeling depressed, anxious? You've been experiencing feelings of just being disconnected from God. You're frustrated all the time. You're unhappy. You feel like you're the most unlucky person in the world. Bad things are always happening to you. It's one thing after another. You can't ever catch a break. You feel like God is never listening to your prayers, or you can't hear God directly with whatever it is that he's trying to communicate to you, or whatever it is that you're going through right now that you're calling out and asking for help for. And maybe joy and happiness just seem so out of reach for you that you are just constantly walking around numb. Like you're not happy, but you're not completely unhappy, but you're just there. You're just surviving, right? If this is your constant state of thinking, and I'm going to say this with love, your mindset is honestly ruining your life. And that's okay, because we have all had those moments. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit more about how deep your subconscious really is, and how the things that you consume are having a direct reflect on your life, friend. Like, we live in a world full of distractions, everywhere from secular music to social media to gossip to drama to a million and one opinions floating around every single day. News that's being put in our face every single day that just highlights the negative and bad things that are occurring in our society. All of that ends up shaping our subconscious. It ends up being in the back of our minds as we go through our day to day. And what happens is you start to get attached to these distractions. You start to associate your life with these distractions. You start to become addicted to them, dependent on them. And what you have to understand is your subconscious is where your fears live, where your habits live, where your patterns live, all of that. So you have to understand, if you're constantly feeding your brain with low vibrational things, negativity, things that are just overstimulating, gossip, things that are just not positive, nor helping you move forward, nor helping you learn anything, guess what's going to happen? This is exactly what your life will start to reflect. And I'm going to just go on a tangent here in a little small rant and say that social media is the biggest culprit. At the end of the day, at first, social media was created to entertain, right? To keep people busy, to be social, to connect with others, right? It was so innocent. But what social media has turned into is something that keeps you in this psychological loop. And it's not a positive psychological loop either. It's negative, right? These algorithms are not just designed to keep you entertained. These algorithms are literally made for the purpose of keeping people on the app. And you know what happens? I'm going to let y'all in on a little secret. When you're going through something, you should stay off social media, because we give all these apps all these permissions. And yeah, you have access to this, you have access to that. Even though they say that they don't have access to certain private parts of our phone, they do. So whatever. But I just want to let you know that all the conversations that you're having via text, all the things that you are talking about outward and openly around your phone, all the things that you're searching up, all of that data is being fed to these apps. So guess what happens? You get on social media, you scrolling, right? You're seeing videos. All of a sudden, all of the videos relate to what you're going through, what you're thinking. If you're experiencing depression and you've been talking about that, that's exactly what social media is going to show you. You're going to start seeing video after video. Depression, 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 depression. If you're going through a heartbreak, you're going through a breakup, you're dealing with a man that's cheated on you or a woman that's cheated on you. If you come across one video that relates to that and happen to like it or engage with it or stay watching the video for a couple seconds, guess what you're going to see? You're going to keep scrolling. And you're going to keep seeing these videos. And then you're going to be like, wow, This is so coincidental. This must be a sign because I'm seeing all this stuff that applies to my current situation. Before you know it, you didn't sat there and doom scroll for an hour and a half, 2 hours, wasting time, because that's all it is, being sucked into these apps because they're designed to keep you busy. They're designed to keep you programmed. They're designed to keep your attention span super short. Although, yes, you spent maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours doom scrolling, every video that you watch is, probably a couple seconds long, right? So it's like you have to think about this stuff. This is why if you're going through something, stay off social media, right? You into it with your man or your girl, stay off social media. If you are down bad and on your last and you're facing X, Y, and Z, whatever the case may be, stay off social media, because social media is more than likely 10 times out of 10 going to make you feel a lot worse. And it's going to start validating these feelings and your emotions. And what you have to come to understand is feelings are not facts. All emotions are not facts either. So the moment you start going around here thinking like, oh, well, I saw it on I saw this post on Instagram, right? And it said this, and this is exactly how I feel. You guys, think. This is all by design. Of course they want to appeal to how you feel. You know why? Because it's going to keep you on the app. It's going to keep these people making money off of your sadness, off of your overstimulation, off of your need and hunger to feel seen, to feel heard. Oh my gosh, this is so relatable. If you don't realize what's happening, you're going to end up confusing digital noise and outside influences. You're going to completely miss, what God is probably trying to do in your life. So I don't know who needs to hear this today, but the algorithm is not built to heal you. It's literally meant to trap you and distract you and keep you sad, keep you broke, and keep you occupied with stuff that's not going to move you forward. And that's only going to keep validating these feelings and emotions that you have, and when feelings and emotions are not facts. Okay? So moving on from that tangent, I want to share a personal journey for me that really made me understand like how connected we are to the things in our society, how connected we are to social media, how connected we are to gossip, how connected we are to reality TV, how connected we are to secular music that's degrading, that's negative, that talks about killing, drugs, and pain and glorifying it and all that stuff, right? I went a whole entire year without listening to music. And I talked about this on my social media platforms, of course. I did like video updates every single day about what I learned, what I was realizing, so forth and so forth. But obviously, like, you can't really explain the journey in just a minute and 30 seconds. So I'm like, look, let me go ahead and let the people know what the deal was, why I started to do it, blah, 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 blah. So first and foremost, I want people to understand I did not just wake up one day and decide I'm going to go a whole year without listening to music. No, I didn't do that. I was in a position, and if you go back and watch some of my previous episodes, I talk about the fact that I was doing apartment locating at the very beginning of my music fast. In February of 2023 is when I first started, and I was still apartment locating at that time, but I was on my way out. Anyway, at the time that I started, I was like, I really just don't even want to do apartment locating no more. It's annoying. These folks annoying. This whole business model is annoying. This organization that I'm a part of is annoying. I don't even want to be around y'all. Okay? So I was like, I am going to break up with this, because I was just at a point where I was like, you know what? I'm way smarter than where I am and what I'm dealing with. And I just feel like I can be a lot further, but it's something. It's like a blockage that's happening. Like, it's like the wheels in my brain was just not turning enough, because I'm like, girl, you could be doing so many other things that could be getting you way different and way better results. And at the end of the day, you don't have to be bothered with this. So I was like, okay, I need to figure out what's really holding me back. Like, really, really putting in the time to sit down and be like, okay, boom, what do I need to do? Coming up with a plan. And in order to do that, you have to really clear out your space. Like, you have to just lock in, okay? I'm going to sit down and I'm going to think this through. One thing that a lot of people don't do is sit down and think. Thinking is the hardest thing that a lot of people will never do, because people want to avoid decisions. People want to avoid the toughness of certain situations. People want to avoid having to make certain decisions. People want to avoid being judged, stepping on toes, blah, 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 blah. So they're just like, oh, I just want to think about it right now. Can't do that. So at the time, I was like, I've always been a person that's listened to podcasts and sermons. One thing I realized that a lot of wealthy, rich people have in common, they say some of the same things when it comes to what they consume on a day-to-day basis. So, I hear a lot of people who are well off talk about the fact that I don't listen to the radio in the car. When I get in the Uber, I politely ask them to either turn it off completely or it just have to turn on like something instrumental, or I have my headphones in where I'm listening to my own stuff. Because at the end of the day, when you're listening to the radio or all these other things, it's nothing but gossip, right? They might play a couple little songs, but all that yapping that's going on, it's gossip. I just really understood and started to realize, like, okay, people that have the things that I want, they all saying the same thing. Like, I'm consistently learning. I'm consistently training my mind, and I'm consistently consuming things that are going to help me, that are going to help me move forward, that are going to make me feel good, things that are going to make me feel like, you know what, today is another day to be 1% better than I was yesterday. Today is another day that I can try again, that I can attack whatever problem that I'm having. Today is another day for me to be positive. Today is another day for me to try my best. Like all of those things. So I'm just like, all right, and doing apartment locating, like I said, if you watch my previous episode, it was just aggravating. Like, I got to a point where I was just like, you know what? I don't even want to be bothered with none of this no more. And after my days would be over, I would just be irritated, aggravated, don't want to talk to nobody. I just want some food. I don't want to be bothered. Let me just cut some music on so I can vibe out, right? And I'm like, doing that for so long, it's like, okay, well, girl, what's going to be the solution for real? Because you just going to keep doing this and being unhappy, or you going to make some shake and figure out what's the next step? And in order to do that, I had to get out of my comfort zone, my normal routine, and force myself to sit down and listen to what I was feeling, what I was thinking, and start really digging deep in my brain. So I'm like, you know what? I need to make room to be able to hear God. I need to sit in silence. I need to reflect, because how else am I going to get over this blockage of where I am right now and overcome this and get to the next level, right? During that time that I was fasting from secular music and I was only listening to gospel music and then consuming podcasts, sermons, audiobooks, personal development teachings around the clock every single day, I realized two things. Most people are not disconnected from God. They're simply just too distracted to hear him. God is always there. He's always there waiting to have a conversation, but you're so distracted, you're not even prioritizing talking to him. You're so distracted, you can't even hear him when he clear as day in your ear, or he's showing you signs, right? You're so distracted, you can't even see the signs of what God is trying to show you. What is God trying to tell you? You're so distracted. It's like you just blind to all of it, right? Number two, most people just can't think positively because their mind is just filled with a whole bunch of BS. Your mind is filled with a whole bunch of junk. Your mind is filled with a whole bunch of gossip and a whole bunch of drama and a whole bunch of he say, she say, and a whole bunch of other people's lives and a whole bunch of violence and negative music and degrading music and music that talk about killing and robbing and stealing and shooting and all this and the third. I don't see how that's helping you. If you're going through something, if you're dealing with the feelings that I mentioned earlier in this episode, anxiety, depression, overstimulation, mental burnout, none of that is going to help you at all. None of that is going to help you. So it's going to take you stepping away from that, getting your nervous system back regulated into a healthy point. If you don't have enough uplifting, stimulating, spiritual information that you can pull from in your brain when you're going through something or you're experiencing something or you're having a bad day, your brain is going to always default to the negative because it don't have enough positive information to pull from. So you'll always be fearful. You're always going to be anxious. You're always going to have those feelings of doubt, period, because you haven't built up the armor and really suited up to protect yourself from all these outside influences that we have in this world. So, I'm not going to sit up here and yell at y'all. You're probably listening like, oh my gosh, Malaysia, this sounds like me. This is what I'm going through right now. How can I fix it? Tell me. In order to shift your mindset for the better, I need you to understand three things. Silence is sacred. A lot of people do not like quiet time. You remember when we were kids and we were forced to take naps and have quiet time. And no, you're just going to sit down and be quiet for a little while because you've been running around willy-nilly doing this, that, and the third. For some reason, as we grow and become adults, it's like we always got to be doing something. We always got to have something playing in the background. I need background music. I'm in the shower. I'm brushing my teeth. I'm cooking. I'm washing clothes. I need music playing. I need some playing on the TV, right? I'm doing my makeup. I got to have some. I have to have something playing in the background when it's time for me to go to sleep. You're programming your brain to be that way. No, you don't. And at the end of the day, when you eliminate background noise, your mind will have a chance to reset. You'll start to notice what you've been avoiding. You'll start to have just deeper thoughts about different things that's going on in your life. You'll start to have different realizations about things that's happening as well. And you'll just start to hear your own voice versus those of your friends, your family members, these influencers on Instagram, trends, the online drama, all that chatter that's not even coming from you. If you learn to value silence and quiet time, you'll be able to cut out all that declutter. Number 2, your thoughts create your reality. So if you're constantly feeling and thinking that you're unlucky, you're overlooked, you're not good enough, your brain is going to find proof of that everywhere. And it's going to just only get worse. It's going to be like, damn, like, why does it seem like bad stuff keeps happening to me? Because, babe, that's how you think. You think that that's the only thing that can happen to you is bad stuff. What you expect? But when you feed your spirit with things that build you up and start seeing things differently, life is going to feel lighter. You're going to start to become more hopeful. Your aura, your vibe is going to be more powerful. It's going to be more positive, right? You're going to start looking at the bright side of situations, okay? The way you think about God, money, friendships, relationships, and life in general, it all flows from what you're consuming mentally. Now, I'm going to give you a couple practical tips that you can start applying today that's going to help you clear out your mental space and change your life for the better. Number 1, you should already know what I'm going to say. You're going to stop listening to secular music, period. Summer Walker, SZA, my favorite rapper is Future, and I had to go a year without him. Cut all of that out. Okay, it's noise. It's not positive. All that heartbreak music. Why would you want to even listen to that, to be honest? And you're going through a heartbreak, babe. Do you want to be happy or sad? Cut all that out, okay? And you're going to do this for 90 days. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but anybody that has ever told you that it only takes 21 days to form a habit, they lied. And that's not true. I'm telling you and I'm advising you to stop listening to music for 90 days. I don't even have to try to convince you to go a whole year just because I did. Because what's going to happen is you're going to start having such brighter days. And your mindset is going to become so much more clear. You're not going to be so easily swayed and influenced. And you're going to be like, you know what? Actually, I want to keep this going. So yeah, you're going to need to do that for 90 days. Not a week, not 21 days, not a month, a full 3 months. Lock in. Either you can do it. It's no different than dieting. It's no different than starting to work out with a new trainer. You are not going to see long lasting results by just working out for 1 month. You are not going to see long lasting results by going on a diet or fasting for 7 days. All of your bad habits are just going to come back next week. Okay. What you need to realize is time is going to go by regardless of whether you do something or not. So when you hear about things, you're like 90 days, 3 months, I can't go that long. Oh my gosh, you're focused on the wrong thing, friend. Second thing that you're going to do, you're going to start your mornings in silence without your phone. That means that when you wake up in the morning, you're not going to pick up your phone and start scrolling on Instagram. This is like the worst thing that you can do. Instagram, Twitter, I don't care what social media it is. I don't care what social media platform it is. Grabbing your phone and getting immediately dragged into what's going on in the world when you haven't even checked in with yourself to figure out, how am I feeling today? What's going on in my own world today? You haven't even thanked God for waking you up this morning and you're already on your phone. No, you're going to start your mornings in silence and you're going to sit with your thoughts. Wake up early enough to the point where, you know how some people say, like, I wake up, super early and then I just lay on my phone until it's time to get up. Okay, how about you start waking up early and either, sitting up in bed or maybe walking around your room or just laying there thinking talking to God, praying, having a conversation with him. He'll love to chat with you. Okay? Pray, journal, read your Bible, read a book in the morning, right? Whatever it is, just get spiritually grounded before the world gets access to your mind. Before you allow the world to decide what it's going to do and what it's going to be in terms of your mind. Yeah. For 3 goals with number 1, I'm not telling you to just stop listening to music. I'm telling you to replace the noise with nourishment. So you might say, okay, well, if I'm not listening to music, what I'm listening to, you're going to listen to podcasts about things that you're interested in learning, things that can help you, things that can help you make more money, right? You're going to listen to personal development teachings. You're going to listen to sermons. You're going to listen to gospel music, which is nothing more than just positive affirmations over and over again in the spiritual form. You're not giving up something just for the hell of it. You're not giving up something just for no reason. Okay, I'm just not going to listen to music. No, because that's still not even going to get you to where you need to be. You're still going to have to take the time out to replace the music with something that is going to help you move the needle forward. I don't even know what number we on, but I think we on number 4. You need to start journaling, friend. Okay. I know a lot of us like to come in our notes and write down our thoughts and just tap away. That's not going to help. And that's because our attention spans are so short. What's going to happen is you're going to start typing. You're going to swipe out of the app, go to social media, text somebody back. Oh, so-and-so text me. Let me text them back real quick. Oh, I got a notification. Oh, somebody liked my picture. Oh, somebody liked my story. Oh. You're distracted. Just do it the old-fashioned way. Get a notebook and a pen and brain dump. Get to writing like that. So that way you'll be able to go back and flip through all the pages and see like, wow, this is what I was thinking at this time in my life. This is where I was. This is how I was thinking. This is what I was going through, right? I'm glad I have physical, tangible evidence. And that's what you want. You're going to create off hours. You need to have time where you say, I'm not going to get on Instagram after this time, or I'm not going to spend this many hours on Instagram. Me personally, I am a D&D warrior, so I always have my phone on Do Not Disturb. I don't like to be disturbed. I don't like to have notifications going off left and right. You know, I create content. I post different things. It's like, okay, I love that I'm getting the engagement, but stuff like that keeps you addicted to your phone, right? People are texting you throughout the day. They want to talk. That's cool. But for me, I feel like I'm in control when I have my phone on Do Not Disturb. And some people don't like it, but that's okay. Don't just let your day just flow how your day wants to flow. You're in control of your day. You're in control of your time. You need to start winding down for bed a little bit earlier. Don't just eat, take a shower, go to bed. Your brain didn't even have a chance to decompress, to relax, to, okay, cool. Getting away from social media. I'm getting away from my phone. Your brain's still connected to your phone by the time you go to bed, right? Staying up late on your phone, scrolling on TikTok all night. That's why your dreams subconsciously is related to something that you seen on TikTok. Okay, it's all connected, y'all. So just be intentional about that time. Make sure you set some off hours and you will be good, okay? If you become more mindful of the things that you consume, your whole life will change, period. In a world full of distractions where so many things have the power to influence us, you have to be stronger than all of those things. And like I said, you have to suit up. You have to put a barrier up, a mental, physical, and spiritual barrier up to keep all that negativity and to keep the enemy away from you. Or you're going to be walking around just living in distress every single day. And who wants that? I'm challenging every single one of y'all to declutter your mind, to cut out your distractions, to be strong enough to sit with your thoughts, to start consuming more spiritual, uplifting, encouraging information. And when you do that, watch how peaceful your life becomes. Watch how much easier it is to hear God and to see the things that God actually wants to do in your life. Watch how your confidence grows. Watch how your relationships evolve. Watch how you make more money and attract more opportunities, and more people want to be around you because you're such a joy to be around. Your aura is on 10. Okay, unmatched. match, right? People love talking to you. People love being around you. And overall, you just bring the energy into any room, any circle, any relationship, friendship that you enter because you just like that. Now, this episode was actually sponsored by my brand, Mindful Vibes 365. And for all of you that stayed to the end, first and foremost, thank you so much for watching. And secondly, I just want to let you know, on your journey of decluttering your mind and fasting from music for the next 90 days, I have actually created a 90-day workbook, okay? Not a journal, heavy on workbook, because you're going to put in some work. You're going to take this and it's going to be a step-by-step guide on how to step away from secular music and focus your attention on podcasts, sermons, audiobooks, personal development teachings, all while you are going throughout your day to day. There's resources in here to guide you. There's tips in here that you can apply to your life every single week. Thought-provoking quotes that are going to touch your spirit and your soul. And you have the space to actually reflect and journal and talk about what's on your mind and what's your vibe for today, y'all. It is honestly my goal to help 1,000 people by 2026 to complete this workbook and complete their journey of not listening to music for at least 90 days. And I just cannot wait to hear about all the testimonies. Like, I know for sure that this is going to change your life. So make sure you go ahead and grab yours today. You may want to grab one for a friend as well, someone that you know is potentially struggling and they may be able to benefit from this as well. So congratulations to you in advance, friend. Thank you so much for watching another episode of the Mindful Vibes 365 podcast. And I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye.